Look at that. Hey, happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah, good Friday.
Happy Friday.
That's right. Fist bumping out. And Nor is joining us today. So that's exciting news. Nor, welcome to, she usually does everything and makes us look good in the front, but Nor's going to come up
I
and
thought
be
I'd
on the
join you
show this
today.
week. Yeah, it's awesome. Well, let's jump into it with everybody. So it's Friday. It's the Friday before New Year's Day. Who knows anybody that's paying attention uh, to LinkedIn or not? But obviously this will be recorded as well. And we're going to talk today about using personalized generative AI for business growth. And this, for me, and I love that we're going to have this conversation because Nora's going to bring in the perspective of the marketer on our team and how she's using it and what she's doing and why it helps her. And Daniel, because he's the smartest guy in our room and he's writing the code and staying up to date on all things AI. And I get to be here because they just let me stick around. But this whole concept of personalized content has been my career. And I feel like this AI is just taking it obviously to a whole new level, and it just excites me. And we talked about this a few weeks ago. I think I have it right here. I have one example left. I should try to get more, but this was, and it's all thrashed. It's old. I mean, this magazine's like 10 years old, but this was my second company. My first company did something similar, but what we did is we had content that was professionally created inside this magazine, and then we wrapped the cover with content or messaging that was personalized from the person who sent it, and it was personalized to the person who received it.
Mhm.
Now, at the time, this was like a very innovative printing program because it's called variable and or one-to-one printing because this message on the inside front cover of the magazine could have been personalized via our web interface to the specific person that the magazine ends up being mailed to.
Mhm.
So it was very, very specific. And at the time, it was looked at as this really cool, innovative printing project, which it was, but it was more than that. It was empowering thousands of people to have these personalized one-to-one conversations with really over millions of people because a realtor would send this out to two, three, 500 people. A lawyer would send it out to a couple hundred people, right? Insurance agents used it. And it became this way that we empowered thousands of people to create really high quality content that they couldn't have done on their own. If you avoid all the scratches on this 10-year-old magazine, then you can see it is high quality. I guess it's not quite 10 years old. It was 2016. So
Sure,
7-year-old
and that's
magazine.
really cool. I mean, well, first off, you were doing AI before everyone else was doing it. It's pretty cool. I'm kidding, but no, the fact that like if you got that magazine and you wouldn't get it and be like, he printed this magazine specifically, like he went and made a single one-off magazine for me from him. Like I think it was known that there was probably some sort of production that made that you got it, and it didn't
Yeah.
feel any less personal because you got it and you're like, oh, I bet everyone else got this same magazine. You would look at it as receiving it personally. So I think
Right.
it's kind of a nice bridge over to AI as well, and being able to
Yeah.
be AI does not mean replacing you. It does not mean that you don't get to speak your own voice and speak specifically to people, whether it's in a direct message or in an email. It's
Yeah.
when you, and we don't have to go into just this to start off the call, but like that it's not doesn't become an automation. This is we're talking about using generative AI in a personal way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of being personal,
Mhm.
as I got into this and got so excited about personalized content, um, everybody, if you're listening, you're on. Please comment. Let us know who you are, where you are. Ask any questions. We want today to be interactive. We're learning as you're learning, and we get to introduce everybody to Noor, who makes us. I'll look better and be better as working on the back end. I'm a little worried that her video froze though. All
I'm
right.
thinking the same thing. Unless she can
Tom,
stand that still. She has many talents, so it's possible.
yeah. Okay. Well, when she comes back in, we'll get her to introduce herself and tell you a little bit about her. Noor is leading our marketing on the back end, and really the value of that and the why we wanted her to share is because she's using generative AI through the Fishbump AIQ platform to create a lot of content that then gets shared with us and other people on the team, and then we use our Twinit technology in order to press a button and have it rewrite in our voice and in our style and in our word choice.
Mm.
And we really believe that that is going to be the future of content.
Yeah, and I think what's really powerful, what Noor and her team is doing is it's kind of helping with that stepping stone for a business to that's getting into AI, because
Yeah.
AI might feel a little bit overwhelming for some people. It might feel
Hmm.
like, one, the quality is not that great. You might, or they might feel that way. Or how do I even do this prompting thing? Like prompts are confusing, and
Yeah.
how do I structure my prompts and all those things? So her team's really doing a great job of helping these companies get started, that maybe need a little bit of a helping hand to get
Yeah.
the reports and the output they need. So
Yeah. So let's, Daniel, I'd like to do, and I'm sorry that Noor's not able to be on. But let's back up a little bit, and I think what do you think are some of the? I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the common challenges around generative AI, and from this perspective, the reason this was valuable, I thought, for people listening, is that we have Daniel who loves to consume everything AI. He's writing prompts, he's writing scripts, he's looking at how to really dig in and use AI from a tech standpoint.
mhm.
We have Noor on the marketing side, and then you have me from more of like a CEO salesperson. I just want to be honest with everybody. I don't care to know the ins and outs of AI.
Mhm.
I want to know how it's going to help me talk to more people, create more conversations, create more opportunities, and empower the rest of our team to be better at their jobs. I mean, that's it overall. And I think that that's one of the big challenges, um, is that we're in this early stage of AI. And as Tom said on there, we're in this exploration stage, but there's so many different types of people that are looking at it. And right now, I think it's all about, like, everything I see is how to write your own prompts.
Sure. Yep.
To be honest, everybody, I don't want to write my own prompts. I don't have time for it, and it's not what I'm best at.
Definitely. Do we want to back up and we kind of introduce Noor, but is she moving again? I can't.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's
she's moving.
moving.
She's moving. I wasn't sure.
Technical problems. I'm sorry.
That's
It's
okay.
all good.
That's right. Yeah, we've got Tom great writing some great comments, but we're going to get back to you there in a second. Tom, Noor, welcome back.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Noor, we told everybody a little bit about you while you were gone, but why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you and how you got here with this crazy people at Fist Bump and what you do?
Okay. Well, I'm really bad at these things, so you're gonna have to like take it a little bit slowly on me. But generally speaking, it's been a pleasure getting to know you guys and working with you guys, honestly. And I'm not just saying that because I'm live with you guys and I'm looking for connections, I promise. So, yeah, we met like what, 3 months ago, 4 months ago.
I think we're in our fourth month with you on our team.
Yeah, I think this is our fourth month together. It's been a roller coaster, but in a good way. I'm an adrenaline junkie, so I like roller coasters. So it's been learning a lot of new things, delving into like the world of AI. Yeah, I used AI before, but not in the way that we've been using it at Fist Bump. We've been getting into like very detailed, specific things. I've learned a lot, and from someone who was afraid of AI at first and then starting to use it and getting used to it. that I discovered that I can be like so much more efficient doing like daily tasks or repetitive tasks using AI. So it was like a huge time saver. Um, so that's like on the job side of my life, personal side of my life. I don't know where to begin. I lived in London for a little bit. I'm Egyptian. If you guys like, if you're watching and you don't know, and if there's any Egyptians out there watching, so I'm Egyptian. Lived in London for a little bit. Lived in America when I was young, and then I'm here in Egypt now. We're planning on moving, but we still don't know where. Me and my husband. My husband, we got married 3 years ago, I believe, or 4 years ago. I can't remember. I don't keep track on. But we've known each other
The
since like
guys are
high
supposed to say.
school. Well, we've known each other since high school, so we just don't keep track of these things anymore. I have two dogs. No kids yet, but we're planning on it soon, hopefully. And yeah, that's like a nutshell of me.
Very cool.
Awesome. And I'll speak for Daniel a little bit on this. Nora's been an amazing part of our team. She's jumped in. She was overwhelmed. She's learned. She's taken over a bunch of areas and of our business. You're the back end on the marketing, and has contributed a lot to what we're building too. I mean, I think having Nor being able to look at things and say that doesn't make sense. This makes sense to me. I'd like it this way. Has just been a huge part.
Yeah,
So
I would definitely agree with that. I would say one of the most difficult things in technology as a developer, especially is when you're leading a team or building something, is like empathy is one of those skills that we don't have. That's not something we're that good at. And so when we have an internal team that I can give something and you guys give me that feedback, especially Nora's like, hey, this doesn't make sense. And I'm like, oh, well, I just kind of, as Brandon says, I throw it over the wall and then I go back to coding. But it's really helped me being able to work with you. So I want to say a thank you for the help you've given in kind of helping
Oh,
lead the
that's so
product.
sweet, you guys.
yeah.
Well,
Hey
yeah, I
Nora,
think it's
let's.
important
Oh,
for us to like have a voice that is, not the tech person, not the
Sure.
person who has been doing AI for a really long time, like just an average user, a
mhm.
regular user who's still learning and exploring. So that's why I tend to like comment on things that maybe to you they don't make sense, but I feel like my input would be the input of a user who is kind of new to the field of AI.
Mhm. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially in your role as being that ambassador or concierge to the client, you're able to kind of help filter my technical jargon and make it
Yeah.
make sense. So yeah, that's been super valuable for us.
What I'd like to do, if you guys are good with it, Nora, I know you have the controls. I'd love to put Tom's comment on there about 2023 was a year of AI exploration, and use that to kind of lead the way. By the way, Reem jumped in and said it's been 3 years you've been married, Nora. Just so
Yes,
you
I
know.
can see
Yeah.
that. I can't see Tom's comment though.
Oh, you can't? Okay. So Tom wrote 2023 was a year of AI exploration for many companies. 2024 will be the year of application and adoption. And then he went on to say, we need to be able to demonstrate to business executives the killer apps that are possible with AI. And Daniel, Tom, I appreciate that. And Daniel, I'd love to take that as an opportunity to start chatting, telling everybody a little bit about AIQ and what you're building, what we're building, and how it is going to be. I mean, it's going to be a killer app.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to make people very efficient. It's going to be super easy. And from my perspective, my ignorant, sales marketing guy perspective, um, and my age, I look at it as like what AOL did to the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the internet at the time, there were very few web browsers. People didn't even know they could just log directly into the web.
Mm-hmm.
But AOL dominated the space because they made it an easy like bridge to the internet. In a sense, you
Sure.
could log into AOL with software, and AOL brought the internet to you, and it was in an easy click a button, not have to type in a whole bunch of things. And I feel like, and hopefully this makes sense. I feel like with AI, we need to be in that similar kind of phase of we can't force everybody to go write prompts and scripts and everything else, but how do we bring the power of AI in a simplistic form?
Wow, that's a lot. So I want to back up a little bit, about the idea of, I think you had a question about the fears or the challenges that people might have, and it goes along with what Tom's mentioning about being the year of exploration. This is moving the AI thing, and it's not a like trying to instill fear, but it is things are moving very, very fast. And I remember it was just this morning, I thought about it. You sent me a picture like a year and a half ago, and it was like this AI image that was super bad.
It
And it
was
was like,
really bad.
and
We
it was
should
like,
have
this
kept
is
it.
ridiculous. This AI image thing, it doesn't work for photos. Like you can do some illustrations with it, but it's kind of garbage. I remember people sharing like an AI generated image. They put in the prompt salmon swimming upstream, and it was like fillets of salmon jumping through the water. And you saw the videos with like, or the pictures with like the really creepy, cringy, like big smiles, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is ridiculous." And then now you're seeing these Mid-Journey version 6 images that look like legitimate photographs.
Hey,
You're
Daniel, what's Mid-Journey version 6?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's kind of one of the leading tools for image generation.
Yeah.
DALL-E 3 is the one that's built into OpenAI's product. And it's gotten a lot better. I like that you can use it inside of your chat. But
Mm-hmm.
Mid-Journey's image creation, I think, is the latest version is still better.
Mm-hmm.
But my point was just it's going so fast, and doing it on your own can be difficult when you're also trying to run a company and then also trying to keep up with the speed of AI. And so I think that's one of the challenges with, depending on the size of your company, if you can hire a team to be your AI team, you can. It's a different perspective from a small company that needs to also run their company at the same time.
Yeah.
So what we're doing with the AIQ is kind of that stepping stone for the SMBs to be able to utilize AI, the tools, our teams utilizing the tools to be able to give you the outputs that you're looking for. So maybe you don't need blog posts, or maybe you don't need LinkedIn posts, or maybe you do need competitive analysis for your company, or you do need to know something about whether it's writing emails. So all those different tools that you might need, it's going to be a little bit different for every company. So trying to figure those tools out for a small company, that can be difficult. But if you can have a partner that can help you with that, and then with Nora's team being able to make sure that those outputs are fact checked, the sanity level, because AI still can be a little bit, it can hallucinate, or if you aren't able to put in the right prompts or you don't know how to do that, your results might be not what you're expecting. And then you pass it off and you go, this isn't for me. And then in 6 months, it's past what you were even expecting at that point. So being able to keep up with the speed of AI is it's difficult to do for a small company, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to talk a little bit about AIQ, and I want to let Nor speak to it as well, because AIQ for us, it stands for AIIQ for companies, and I like the way you said that, Daniel. For smaller companies, you can't afford to go out and especially this time, like AI is so new. If you went out and hired somebody today to lead it, you could hire the wrong person really easily, right? And that is if you had the budget to do it as well. But AIQ stands for AIIQ. And I think this is really important for people to understand. And this is, for me, from a CEO perspective, that I cared about. It's private, it's closed, and it's trained for us by the concierge team at Fist Bump. But once it's trained and ready, we've got this brain that knows our company, our products, our competitive messaging, who our competitors are, our go-to-market strategy. It's got everything in there that we then can use to help us do daily activities like a competitive analysis report, a prospect analysis report. How do we negotiate with a specific customer based on who they are, based on who we are? I mean, there's a lot of really, really powerful tools in there. But I know for me, If I had to go build these on my own, I just wouldn't do it. I'd stick my head down. I'd stick to what I know, and I'd keep doing things the old school way. And I would lose out on the power of this, primarily because I'd say, oh, we don't need it, or I'd create excuses. We don't need it, or it's not good enough yet. We don't want to waste our time. But I know for me, and I'm being honest, the real thing is I don't know how to do it, and I don't have time to figure it out, and it scares the crap out of me. And so I avoid it. Nor, what has it been like for you using AIQ to go train a model for a company as a marketing person?
Well, yeah, from the marketing perspective, I believe that it is a huge time saver because you have this, as you mentioned, you have this brain that knows everything. So I don't have to like train it or give it a specific thing or like a specific prompt. I just write what I need and it just gives it to me because it already knows everything. So honestly speaking, before I started using the AIQ, I used to use ChatGPT and I had to train it for like a really long time to get the outcome that I need. And then I have to go in and edit the outcome that I need. So it used to take time. But with AIQ, you just go in there, write what you want, it gives you what you want. And I barely do like minor tweaks here and there, and then it's posted. So it's a huge time saver. Like I can have up to 6 weeks of content scheduled and done because it already knows everything.
Now, Daniel, I want to ping pong this back. What I heard Noor say is this brain helps me be more efficient. I don't have to know prompts. I'm answering questions. I'm pushing some buttons. What's going on the back end? What's the intelligence that's going on in the back end that you and the team have been working your butts off on for the last year that makes it possible for Denor to have this easy experience?
I have to think to not explain it in a way that's overly technical because I seem to do that. Well, the concept of what Nora said about going to ChatGPT and having to give it prompts is you're starting from that idea of a base model, a base knowledge base, you could say. So it's basically it's been trained the same for everybody, and then you come from square one and you say you need to act as a certain professional. Here's the information. And then it'll give you a response. You're like, well, no, I didn't mean that. I need to also give you this information. And you kind of had to spend some time teeing it up to get the product. And you kind of like baking cake or making a recipe. Like you have to keep giving it stuff. And where the AIQ is more like, a short order cook chef in the sense that like it already has all the ingredients. You've already given it all those ingredients ahead of time. And now you just go, I need a BLT, and it knows how you like your BLT. So the idea is that you're giving it this information ahead of time. And if you're using this concierge service, we would actually be helping you with that step as well. So it's not we don't have this stuff. We don't know where to look for this. How do we even compile all this information? Like if you need a true done for you service, we can do that step for you as well to get that AIQ trained. And then when you request something, because what Nora was talking about with getting what she needs and tweaking it, and that's still the do-it-yourself portion, which she's familiar with, which she could help you with from a support perspective. But the idea is that you have to just give us the information to train, or not us the information, but OpenAI's encrypted, secure area, train that information there, and then you're able to ask for what you need and get it back with little to no editing because we've been able to fine-tune those responses based on what other clients are asking for and prompts and that sort of thing. So we've really been able to fine-tune our requests and fine-tune the response to you. So there's very little need for, as they call it, prompt engineering or editing after prompting.
Yeah. I want to give two examples to people, especially more like sales leaders or C-suite when you're thinking about this. These are two use cases that have been extremely valuable for me and given me a lot of confidence. One of them is from like a competitive analysis side. When we are talking with potential customers or prospects, and we get into exploratory stages where we know they're looking at us and they're looking at someone else, our role in sales is to go and say, who are we competing with and how do we compare? And how do we compare based on the prospective customer that we're speaking to? And it's a lot of work, but it's work that I need to do if I want to be the best at closing deals. Like I've got to show up prepared for any conversation, but it's hours and hours of work for me to do that research and start to come up with the bullet points and then review it and then be prepared for my next call with them to be able to ask the right questions and lead the right conversation to give us the best opportunity to close a deal. And now with AIQ, Daniel and his team they basically came to me and said, what do you do? How do you do this? And I kind of brain dumped. And now they've written prompts and everything else so that now all I have to do is go in and say, I want a competitive report. Here's my prospect URL. Here's the competitor or competitors that I'm competing with, their URLs. And then Nora and her team push the buttons and make things work, and then they refine it so that I don't have to. And then they hand it to me in a very simple report that's done. Saves me hours of time. And what I like about it is, honestly, I always want to do that, but I don't always have time to do it, which means I haven't always showed up in sales conversations the best I could have been if I had more time to do more research. And now I have the time because our AIQ brain is doing that heavy lifting for me in minutes instead of hours that it would take me.
Would you say, based on the amount of time that it's saving you, would you say it would like replace having an assistant do that work for you? Would that be a fair comparison?
Yeah, well, and it's even it goes beyond that too, because not only does it replace an assistant, but things like that are hard to train people to do.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good point.
Right? I mean, that would be a fairly expensive role with somebody with specific experience to be able to think the way that we think about our competitors and our value proposition and our positioning and who are the people on the other side and what are their personalities, what ongoing conversations have we had with them, what's the relationship, are we new in this relationship, has it been a long-term relationship? Like there's a lot that goes into it, and I'm not saying that the AI is perfect.
Sure.
But the AI saves me hours and hours of time, and because I have it, I actually get that research done with every sales conversation now.
That's perfect. And where I was going with that as well is the idea of now you have this. If let's say it was an assistant, you would have that assistant for everyone in the company or all the roles that fit into needing that. So you could actually bring in an entry level salesperson, and they would have those same resources right away, that skill set right away that the rest of the team has. So you're not talking about as much, I would think. I mean, not in the sales world like you, but that it would take so much time to onboard a new rep or a new salesperson when you'd have a resource like this inside the company where they could go in and get these same competitive analysis reports or preparation for meetings or whatever you guys need, and those sort of things at the tip of their fingers.
Yeah. Nora, would you share, that's my experiences like on the sales leadership side of the company. Would you share your experience around creating some of the social post content or articles that you create for the Fist Bump LinkedIn page?
Okay, well, this is the part where, as you mentioned, the research part. So I'm fairly new to the world of LinkedIn and like using LinkedIn to like connect with people and all of that. And I'm still learning a lot. But when I first got into it, I had to do a ton of research in order to figure out the language and the terms and, the whole vibe of the place. So it took me a while. And then after playing around with AI, it started to make my life easier because I don't go on Google anymore. Like, I don't go on Google and say, oh, what is social commenting? I just go to AI and say, oh, what is social commenting? It's faster, it's more efficient. And again, I can recycle this material as a social post for either my personal page or Fist Bump's page on LinkedIn. Um, and again, you tweak it a little bit because you have to, and that was before AIQ. You tweak it according to your tone of voice and your personality and your style and all of that. But again, in my job as a marketer, it's time saving, like
Mm-hmm.
all the way, because I just have easy access to content in my company's tone and style, according to our mission and vision and all of that. And it's just a couple of clicks of buttons away. And I go in on LinkedIn, I schedule it, and I'm done. And then from my personal side, on my personal LinkedIn page, I can use the same post in my own tone of voice and style and how I write my paragraphs, how long do I want it, how short do I want it, and again, efficiency, because as I mentioned, I'm new to LinkedIn. Yeah, I do want to connect with people, but I used to get like, I'm just gonna call it social anxiety, but um, with AI, it helped me actually break that a little bit, because now I can talk confidently.
Yeah, and I think we're losing her a little bit there, but I'll pick that up too. And here's one of the things that I like. And again, I'll speak from like sales leadership side. Um, and Daniel and his team did this just brilliantly by hearing us talk and then said, I think one day Daniel like built something and said, let me show you this. I've been doing this a long time with LinkedIn. And there's some social posts templates or frameworks that are just proven to be very valuable.
Mm-hmm.
As an example, and I did this as a post, I don't know, a week or so ago, but there's one with, you got a hook in your top two lines, and a hook is designed to capture attention and get people to press the see more button. And it opens up the rest of the post. And then inside the post, what we've seen from the data is if you do like a list of three things, and spread it out on like in a paragraph format, but like, hey, here's three things you can do, 1, 2, 3. And then you have a call to action at the end, which is really inviting people to share their perspective or share their belief or their opinion in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's something that it took me years to keep working and finding out, and does this work and does that work, and looking at the data. Well, Daniel took that and his team, and they turned it into a social post template. So this is what I think is so powerful for teams with AIQ and our digital twin technology, is now we can take proven social post templates, say in the company AIQ, hey, we need to talk about this topic. And it could be an email, it could be a blog article, it could be a LinkedIn article. I'll just keep saying social posts since we're live on social platforms. Say, I need this topic into a social post. And with buttons, I can choose a style because Daniel's teams have pre-built this. And it'll take that topic and our AIQ brain and everything, all the information we've given it, and write for us a post
Mm-hmm.
in that template style, in our own voice, in our own company style and messaging. And then, AI is still early, so we do want to go through and review it and make sure that it's got a human approval.
Sure.
And then it goes to everybody on the team. And if they choose to use it, they can click the twin it button. And now it accesses their personal private digital twin where they've trained it to be their voice, their career, their history, their experience, their stories, and it'll rewrite it for them in their voice. And then once they approve it, they can press a button to publish it. And I'll stop here, but I want with this last thing. That gives confidence
Mm-hmm.
and therefore consistency, because Nor alluded to it with her own social anxiety and imposter syndrome. I mean, overall, I think the reason people don't share posts is they're scared. What if people don't like it? What if I say something wrong? This gives people confidence and consistency. And if we really want to be top of mind with our customers, with our prospects in our industry, we have to be consistent. And I think that's what it really brings to teams.
Yeah, I was just going to add about that template piece. I think that was the big jump from when the content became better out of the not out of the box, but with that piece. Because when you ask, let's say you ask ChatGPT, or even LinkedIn has that rewrite in AI feature, and I've tried it to see what the results are, but they're pretty bad. And it's because it just uses what it thinks is the best. But when you give it a template, and this is what the LinkedIn gurus, the Justin Welches, like those sort of, the people in LinkedIn, that's really how most of them are doing the training. Is they'll give you, pick your pillars or whatever you want to talk about, your niche, and then here's the templates to use. And so now, like, if you could just hand off your writing to one of those guys or girls and say, hey, this is what I want to talk about, this is my interests, I'm going to answer some questions about my life and my background, but just write for me. I'm going to step away, you write for me. Like, most people would probably take that offer. And so that's really what these templates are doing, is they're saying, let's take your stories, your tone, the things that you like to talk about, and then let's use proven templates that put in a way that's nice to read, whether it's mobile friendly or with the lists or the hooks, as you mentioned, and making it more of a push button approach to getting 99% of the way there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's we're hitting our time limit here.
This is Nora's job to keep us under 30 minutes, which we've never done. So now we can also blame her at the same time. This is great.
Exactly. Well, what I think is a good way to end it is we're talking about personalized generative AI for B2B growth. For both of you, where do you see the biggest impact in your role? Or Daniel, think about it from a business owner perspective. What's the biggest impact that you're most excited about, whether it's AIQ and Digital Twin or any other AI out there? I mean, we don't want this to be totally salesy, but obviously we sell product and we let people to know about it. But what we built is, from my opinion, is leading into this, as Tom alluded earlier, about these killer apps that harness the power of this AI thing, but make it applicable and easy for everyone on the team to use, and therefore experience the outcome of it. So what do you guys think in your role, or what do you see as, where is the biggest impact on this personalized generative AI going to be as we go into 2024?
Do you want me to go, or you got anything? I guess.
You can go ahead.
I, for one, am going to, I'm really looking forward to building these tools to be able to be more active on networks. I've already got kind of a TikTok channel idea that I kind of want to do along this concept. But it's like writing what will be the scripts or whatever I'm going to use. And it's like coming up with putting in the time to do that. It takes me away from building software. What I should be doing with the majority of my time, I feel, is building this business and building software. So being able to feed this brain and feed that digital twin for myself, and being able to still be personal, still be able to share my story and my life, whether it's on LinkedIn or in TikTok or wherever, but being able to also spend the time that I need to in software and technology. So I was going to write a post about it begin next year, about the fact that, like, I started the year out pretty strong, and then I stayed consistent. And then in the fall into the winter, I've kind of like gotten a little bit burned out with spending the time writing posts, because I get so into it and I really want to tweak it. I want to make it sound just right. And then when it takes me like I wrote carousels that maybe took me 3-4 hours, and I was like, that's not a good use of my time. But I wanted to make sure that it was me. And so I want to get these tools to the point where it helps me be that ghostwriter, collaborator, to get out that personalized content so that I don't spend so much time in it. I still the thoughts still come from my head, and the ideas still, the questions or the answers still come from my head. But being able to have that personalized voice, but also not spend so much dang time on it that it feels like I don't want to say wasting my time, but it feels like it's just taking a lot of my day because that's not my key role. So
Yep.
I'm looking forward to being able to make that more optimized, I should say.
Yeah, you said a lot of really powerful stuff in there. I think. I mean, there's a lot of good nuggets because it's you're saying you'd like to have a TikTok channel where you talk about this stuff. Well, what we can do with AI now is we could go get like what are the top 5 to 10 formats for an AI video that gets the most, or for a TikTok video to get engagement and high views,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can turn that into a template. And then Daniel can go in as he's feeding the AIQ and he's feeding his digital brain all the stuff that he thinks about, and then goes, okay, take all this and turn it into, give me 10 scripts that I can follow and create those videos. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
it's such a time saver. Now, anybody could go do that, but it would take a lot of time to go become a TikTok expert. So,
Mm-hmm.
as an example, and what are the right formats and how do I learn them? And let me, we can build that out, and then it becomes a button that works for anybody. Now you
You
just
wanted,
have.
you wanted to say easy button, did you?
I did, and I know I hate the word easy button, but it's an efficiency button. How's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, cool. Nora, what about you?
I'm most excited about me as a person who's like an kind of an AI beginner. I'm very excited. I don't want to say easy, but I'm gonna use efficient. Um, I'm very excited about how efficient it's going to make me in my current role. Um, and it would make me add the personalized voice and tone, personal touch, so I don't lose my voice as a human. Because to be honest, I go into LinkedIn now and I just know when the post is written by AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not Daniel.
Mhm.
I'm a normal person.
Well, you know when
No
it's written
offense.
by bad AI.
But well, yeah, like you can feel like it's like a robot
Yeah.
talking.
Mhm.
There's nothing personal. And excited about is that I can make it personal. I can make it, you know, me.
Mm-hmm.
And that would make me efficient in my job and my personal life. Um, better results, happier clients. So, I'm really excited for everything, honestly. Like, and I'm not saying it because I work with you guys. Like, no, this is incredible.
Nora, I have a question for you as we before we wrap up. Though you had mentioned earlier about your own social anxiety. What exactly did you mean by that? And then how will this AI tool and your digital twin help you address that?
Okay, so I used to get anxiety from like leaving a comment or sending a message or anything like that because, well, let's be honest, I don't want people to laugh at me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to
Hmm.
sound stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I want to connect with this person or I want to leave a comment. Um, so what I did was I used AI to help me do that. And right now, I can just write the comment without using AI anymore because I can expect what AI is going to tell me.
Mm.
So that is one thing that excites me because I've always wanted to get over that fear. Like I wanted to get over the fear of leaving a comment. It's just a comment, you know? And I finally did, which is incredible. And it is surprisingly thanks to AI. And that's why I don't really believe the idea of AI's replacing us. No, AI is helping us. So so yeah, that's my take on that.
See, and I absolutely love that because what I've found over the last, call it 5-ish years, 6 years, I see and know the value of LinkedIn for creating opportunities, sales opportunities for people. I've been frustrated over the years in training sales teams who go, oh, yeah, 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 and then just don't do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's fear. And it's just so hard to get people over that fear of, like you said, I don't want to look stupid. I don't want people to laugh at me. What's that thing? It's the two biggest fears of people are speaking in public and dying,
Mm-hmm.
which means at a funeral they would rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy,
I'm actually
right?
talking, yeah.
And then you look at social media or LinkedIn, it's that amplified, and it just scares people, and they're missing out on so much potential to sell more, make more, network more, meet more people. If you're meet more people that open up doors to new jobs and better pay or a better fit, like all these opportunities that people are missing out on out of fear. And I believe with your story, what AI is going to be able to do is help more people have confidence. Excuse me. And I think there's also a little bit of a psychological out there, if you will. If my AI tool helps me create something and I publish it and someone laughs at me, I can go, oh yeah, well, AI did it. Right? Like I can almost separate myself. And it sounds silly, but I actually do encourage that with people to say, because yeah, every now and then somebody may laugh at you, but overall, everybody else, we hear this all the time with public speaking. Everybody's so scared to be on stage that when you're on stage, the audience is actually pulling for you
Mm-hmm.
because they want you to do well, because they know how scared they would be up there. And it's the same thing with publishing content in social. It's the same thing with commenting. We project all this stuff like everybody's out there going, oh, I'm gonna nail them when they say something stupid. Most of us are sitting back going, good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
my hope is that AIQ with the digital twin will help empower that. And then what excites me as a business owner is think about, you get, 50 people on a team or 10 people on a team, and all of a sudden they're all publishing relevant content they're confident in 2-3 times a week, and they're connected to your current clients, they're connected to prospective customers, they're connected to their friends and family who could become employees. Like, it just opens up all these doors because it creates conversations at scale.
Yep. And there are so many people talking about this founder-led growth, which is a great thing, but this actually can help a team-led, company-wide led growth. With when the owners and the managers and the founders are able to accept that their team building their personal brand helps the company as a
Yeah.
whole. When you can make that, you can step in and make that shift, then big things will happen for your company.
Yeah. And I think it's both and at that
Mhm.
point, right?
Sure.
I think it
Yeah.
is founder led
Yes. Yeah.
growth.
For sure.
I think it's team led growth. I think it's also, I like to use, I think social first right now. And it's not social only, but it's social first because the way buyers buy and how buyers like to stay anonymous for so long, that this, this news feed is where they get a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're not there, they're not getting information from us.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I love today. I
Yeah.
don't
It's fun.
know, Friday before New Year's Eve. I don't think we had too many people logged in with us, but we got this great recording. Daniel and Nora, how would you like to end it today? What kind of final words would you give for people?
See you next year. No, I'm kidding.
The dad
Um,
joke that you have.
Um, no, yeah, it's been fun. I mean, I think we can kind of open up at this point. We were a little bit loose on our agenda today, and I think it made for a fun conversation and be able to just kind of bounce around about this topic and say what we're interested in and kind of what we see happening in 2024. Because there's going to be a lot going on, and it's going to be fun to be able to be a part of it, but then also see as it unfolds and all of the new technologies. For me personally, I'm looking forward to all the new technology.
Yeah. Nora, what about you?
I would just like to say, if you don't embrace it now, you're going to be too late. Honestly, everything moves so quickly.
Yeah.
So, get on it now because you don't want to be too late.
No. Well, Nora, you did a great job. We're so grateful to have you on our team, and thank you for joining us
Oh,
today. I
thank
know
you.
you were a little nervous to
Thank you
come
for
on, but you
having
did a
me.
great job. And for everyone else, look, if
Oh,
we you want to have conversations around all this, please reach out. And here's my encouragement to everybody, whether you're C-suite, your sales leader, anywhere in the company. Look, we can't lead a company into the 21st century if we're not using and leveraging the most important 21st century tools. And for me right now, it is LinkedIn, because it's all about relationships and the buyer journey has changed. And over the last couple of years, it's going to be AI because of the efficiency that it provides for you. It makes everybody on your team that much more efficient. So you can't lead a 21st century company if you're not using the most important tools of the 21st century. And quite honestly, we're already a year away from being 25% into the century. So time to embrace.
Yep, for sure.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us at Winning Fist Bumps. We'll see you next